My favorite aspects were a little different this summer just because it was virtual. But I think my most favorite aspect is how closely our cohort were still able to bond. Pretty much when we all first found out that we were going to be a part of the program this year, we made a group chat and we're like talking and interacting. And even though we didn't get to see each other, it felt like we saw each other in a way. We scheduled Zoom calls. We did phone trees so that you could learn about each other one-on-one. So I felt like we still had that community aspect, even though it was virtual. And like I'm in Michigan and I know Taylor's all the way in Hawaii. So we were able to also transcend like boundaries and like geography and just get to know each other. So I think that was probably one of my favorite moments during this summer. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna agree with other people. The sense of community was super important and not something I was expecting to feel so vividly, considering that it is virtual. I've never been a part of a cohort as representative of my community and my values. Like, I think the first day I mentioned my research interest in ecofeminism, and several of the scholars was like, oh yeah, I understand that, and I have similar enthusiasm for it. And that's never happened to me before at my university. And it was just sort of this like startling sense of like, oh, like this is where I belong. I love these people and I feel such a sense of community and strength through our connection. And I wasn't expecting to feel that as strongly as I did.
One of my favorite parts of the program was the opportunity to learn different aspects of environmentalism. I tend to focus on more of like the sciencey side, but learning more of like the social sides when it comes to like food access and who has access to different environmental projects. That was really cool. And then getting the opportunity to learn different projects from actual researchers in the field was a cool aspect of the program.
One of my favorite aspects was definitely the amount of resources that were available to us, because coming from a pretty small town and a small college, there are some things that you don't really have the opportunity to learn formally. And we had a lot of professional development workshops weekly, and those were very helpful to me. We would learn how to conduct interviews, how to conduct job interviews, how to, like succeed in job interviews, how to write effective resumes, or how to conduct ethical field work. And those are all skills that you don't really get the chance to learn formally. And so the opportunity to have such amazing guidance on these skills throughout the summer makes you feel a lot more like secure about your future, and kind of equips you with more skills that help you succeed. So I was really lucky and grateful for that.
My favorite aspects of the program were how free I felt I was able to be with my project and the way that I took things. I remember when we first got the projects, there were a lot of different topics and all of them were super interesting. But even when I selected a project, the graduate student who was helping our team was really open to hearing what routes I wanted to take for my project, what different things I wanted to do, what strategies I could take. And there was so much support to help me with that. So even if I knew I wanted to go a certain route, but didn't know exactly how to do that, I had a lot of help for it. So I really felt I engaged with the material and got a lot more out of it because it was something that I wanted to do and it was something that I was interested in.
Definitely being in a diverse program where there's people who look like me, studying the same things and passionate about the same things, because at least back at my school, in the circles that I'm in like the environmental orgs, there aren't many people who are people of color. I'm the only person of color in my org, actually. And so just getting to know everybody who was so passionate and like learning from them, because I'm more from a science side that's not really about the policy, but learning about the policy through the program and also just from people who are passionate and sharing their own experiences was definitely one of my favorite aspects.
This program was super important to me because that it happened at all because of COVID, but what was super unique about at least the first year cohort was that even online we were able to create a community, and we were Zooming whenever we could, like out of office hours, I guess, or job hours, and we were helping support each other, and some people had some like really personal problems, and we would all like be there for them and be like, hey, do you want to call? Like we can all talk or chat or play games, whatever you want. And yeah, I think the support from the program itself and the cohort members in it was the best part of the program, because I had never felt like that in an internship before. It had always felt like a kind of a like an individualistic mindset, and this one feels like a more community, like we're all trying to help each other become the best versions of ourselves.